what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today I want to talk about the Settlers. This is another game I had a chance to check out at Gamescom. It was actually announced and revealed at Gamescom. It's the next installment in the long-running Settlers series, franchise, and it's been quite a long time since I last played this game. I haven't played every single one of the series. In fact, the only one that I ever played was Settlers 3 back in 1998. That is a long time ago, and it's kind of funny because I went into this hands-on demo with a completely different memory of what I thought Settlers was. Like, I remembered more so the RTS combat elements, because one of the things that Settlers 3 actually introduced was more direct control over the military units. So when it came to the combat stuff, it was a little bit more akin to that of something like Command & Conquer Red Alert. So I kind of went into this thinking, oh yeah, you know, we're getting back into another RTS, and completely forgot about the other aspects of the game. So at first I was like, oh, this is different. But then when I finally started to get into it, it actually ended up being quite a lot of fun. Because of course, Settlers is much more than just an RTS. It's not just a war sim where you quickly build units as fast as possible to get like a massive army and go and rush the enemy's base. This is much more about building a civilization, going up through the ages, ranking up, getting to kind of bigger, more prosperous civilizations, and you can then of course go into battle. So with that being said, today I want to go over kind of a couple of things that I got a chance to experience. The gameplay you're seeing in the background is not my gameplay, this is just some B-roll, so I'm going to cut between a few different sections. Keep in mind this is all very pre-alpha, so if you see anything kind of looking a little bit odd or some placeholder stuff, this is of course still subject to change because the game comes out next year. But broadly speaking, Settlers is of course, as mentioned, kind of like a civilization building game. So you begin on a open area, an open land. All of these environments, by the way, are procedurally generated. They kind of gave us a little talk on how this works and how every single map, even in the campaigns, can be procedurally generated to still be functional, because, you know, one of the things you sometimes run into with procedural generation is that obviously you kind of sometimes get really good maps, sometimes you get really bad ones. They sort of ran us through the tech about how they've got these nodes to ensure that no matter what is generated, there's always going to be enough resources for what you need to play. Anyway, that aside, you jump onto a randomly generated or a procedurally generated map, and you of course then begin to expand. You of course have your aptly named Settlers, and you then set them to work on doing different things. You go off and you send them to gather, you go off to send them to build things, you can train them in different units, and of course, depending on the structures that you build, this will infer what your Settlers will do. Now, of course, as you progress, as you build more buildings, as you build specific buildings, you can then turn your Settlers into things like workmen, you can turn them into warriors, you can turn them into a variety of different sections. You'll see that at the top of the screen, it basically breaks down your different units into the different categories, and you'll want to make sure that you are managing these accordingly, because you'll use this as you play throughout the game. For example, if you haven't necessarily got enough workers and suddenly you want to build a boatload of buildings, then you're going to need to make sure you do that. But of course, in order to do that, you then need to have the appropriate buildings so you can then train them to become workers. So as you begin to play, you'll see you have this like initial border, and of course you want to think slightly more strategically. You kind of do this in RTSs anyway. You want to kind of put your buildings in places that make most sense, but especially in Settlers, you know, if you're having things like a woodcutter, you want to make sure that he's by the sides of the forest, because it just makes it a lot easier for him to kind of go back and forth. And they did, of course, reintroduce roads as well. One of the things that I remember from Settlers 3 is that they didn't actually have the concept of roads. You kind of just like had your units walking wherever you wanted to, and it was kind of much more free-flowing. But this time they brought them back in, so you can then link all your buildings together with roads, which then makes things more optimized. You can basically have it so that your units can move a lot faster, they can move more efficiently, which is of course going to be incredibly important. You then also want to, as you get to, you know, discover more materials, you then want to start expanding the area that you control, which of course is currently denoted by those sort of little red, almost cone looking things. They basically dictate your currently owned area where you can build in, and then of course as and when you build watchtowers, you can then expand and control even more space. Now when it comes to combat in this game, it actually works in a few different ways, and this is one of the things that kind of threw me off to begin with. There's a kind of like tier 1 level where, like at the base level, it's sort of automated for you. So you have all your Settlers, and they, while they are workers, while they are, you know, you have warriors and whatnot, people can still kind of just adapt to certain situations. So if you have a little force that comes in to try and attack, or they want to sort of like see what's going on, then your Settlers will kind of just automatically adapt to the situation. They'll fight back, and assuming you have the numbers, then you can just push people back. So to a degree, on the lower level, when you start building things up, you don't really have to worry too much about controlling units and worrying about combat, because it kind of just sort of plays itself out. So early on, it's quite chilled, quite relaxed. You kind of just sit back, worry about building things, worry more so about building up your resources and ensuring that you have all the materials you need to advance. However, as you get further down the line, as you do start to build military units, there is still the RTS element to a degree where you can take your units, you can control some of the bigger armies later, and then send them to attack villages, attack walls, attack different things like that. And of course, the actual battles, they will still largely play out themselves to a degree, so you won't necessarily have that individual unit control you might be familiar with if you play more conventional RTSs where you start trying to, like, you know, micromanage certain units, but you still sort of like control your units, send them out to battle, and of course then go and have these large-scale battles, which do still look pretty epic. But then there's also a really cool component where you can actually win certain areas. Instead of fighting through normal warfare, you can actually win through like a champion battle. You can basically train a hero or a champion unit, and you can then go and have them battle an opposing faction or opposing side's champion inside a gladiator ring. And if you win, you end up winning the favor of that village, which is actually a really cool thing, because you can then effectively go and send someone into a village. They start drumming up support. There's like a little guy with a little drum. He starts kind of like, you know, getting people excited and be like, yo, come over here, see what's going on. And then basically you try to disrupt the flow, disrupt the kind of peace within a village by bringing more favor your way. And you then get to the point where, as you start doing this more and more, you can eventually take over entire cities, entire sections, because if you've basically made it so that the entire village doesn't really, or the entire town doesn't really believe in their side, suddenly you can swap it over, and instead of taking it by force and in turn destroying all the buildings, you actually take it by favor, and you then get everything. You get all the units, you get the buildings, you get the infrastructure, which is arguably the best way to do it, because then you don't have to build up again, and then suddenly you get everything at once. So that was actually kind of cool. They did also say there is another way you can go about doing this. They haven't revealed this just yet. They said there's kind of 3 core pillars, and they showed us this one here, but they said they'll be speaking more about the other ones later down the line. So for the time being, that is still a mystery. We also did get to see a couple of different biomes as well. We saw the traditional kind of grassy lands. We also saw a desert biome. They said there is another one they have yet to reveal. I'm kind of hoping it's snowy, because I just love snowy environments, but we'll have to wait and see. But for the time being, that was a quick look at some Settlers gameplay. As I want to get a chance to record my own stuff and show you things in slightly better detail, I'll try and bring you guys some more videos. But for the time being, that's a quick look at what the newest installment in the Settlers looks like. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.